You're right guys, rcaddict. Right, you're about to see a bit of footage that astounded me and left me with loads of sleepless nights trying to cure a problem. I thought this drone was dead. Dead! I hope all you lot are alright. I haven't seen videos from Bartman dudes, people like that, you know. I hope you're okay. It just gets cold and people don't want to come out and, you know, and it's depressing. And I've been depressed, and if anyone else has been depressed, then don't worry. Don't worry, it's alright to be depressed. Just don't make a big thing about it, because we're coming out the other end in summer, yeah? Or the one that comes before that. What's that? A spring. Woo! The point of this video, gyro locked. Gyro locked, no gyro. Go into the CAN line, status, gyro locked. What? Have I resurrected it from the dead? Have I brought it back from the underworld? She may look small, but got a Mamba F722 Mark II flight controller in it, and it's got a Mamba F40 128K underneath it, and it's all crammed in there. And what I did was I fitted a new Express LRS receiver on it. Okay, here's the drone.
Timotei conditioner. Smooth, silky hair with the fresh smell of summer meadows.
That little one, yeah? Supporting a Rush Cherry antenna, Mamba F40 with the EMI shield, so 1 to 8K. That's the Express LRS antenna on top. I've tried to get it as close in the central reservation. We've even got a buzzer, and I've put a Caddix ant on it because we haven't had any suns. And I know that bolt is undone, and it's done for a reason. We've got a Mamba F722 Mamba F722 Mark II flight controller in there, and we've got a Mamba Tiny VTX Rush Cherry. We've got these beautiful Mamba diatone motors. I mean, why people are bringing out new motors and just renaming them I don't know, because, you know, Mamba make amazing motors. I mean, yeah, look, they've even got protectors on the bottom, you know, like, so, you know, like them like discs, for anyone that don't know, for obviously watching where your screws go if your screws pushing up against any of the metal, because it's very easy on a small well, it's not easy on a big drone as well. Now, why am I astounded? Why am I over the moon that it worked? I'll tell you why. Now, have you ever had this fault code? No gyro. Right, RPM filtering not functioning, no gyro. You plug it in and your flight controller's dead. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's what I had. Now, through many sleepless nights, loads of going on the internet searching, yeah, trying to find an answer for it. I couldn't. The only kind of reasoning I could find was that your flight controller's fucked, or somewhere along the line you've kind of you've bricked it. In the end, I did the first thing that I've ever done. I just kind of threw it in the parts bin and just said, alright, there's a £40 flight controller, gone. So, the diagnosis and the prognosis. This has flashed probably 40, 50 flight controllers, yeah? And it has worked superb, and if Speedy Bee have come up with a problem on their app, they've sorted it out the next day. So this flight controller, yeah, was laying around in the box for ages, and all of a sudden the weather was crapped out, and I had nothing to do. Well, that's Great Britain for you. Mist and wet and rain. Right, so I thought I'll have another go at that flight controller, yeah. I brushed it, I've done everything. I've brushed it for solder, because if you, you know, I've found out in the past that if you solder too long, if you're, you know, too long or too high and it's not a nice blob of solder, yeah, what will happen is the solder will shake, yeah, and it will rattle that bit off, and that bit can get caught in the MCU solder outputs and inputs, right? And I've had that before. So if you hear a whining, like a high-pitched whining, and you see your LED lights on your flight controller dim, yeah, then you know that something's wrong with your beck, or something's short in something somewhere, yeah. And most of the time it is a bit of solder that has fallen over something and basically shorting it out. Okay, if you see no magic smoke, then it's fixable, yeah. So get a toothbrush, obviously not a wet one, yeah, and go over the board and underneath it and just get rid of everything, yeah, and resolder it, okay, and it should fix it. Alright, if not, just use an external back. The USB-C cable in here that I plugged into the flight controllers many times, I think it was loading a preset. Anyway, afterwards I put the drone on the floor and it just wouldn't arm. It just wouldn't do anything, yeah? It had no gyro, right? So the fault code was no gyro detected, yeah? And then go to CLI and put status, and it says gyro locked, okay? And you have no movement of your board or anything at all. Alright, now I messed about with this for absolutely ages. I did absolutely everything I could think of. So one morning, the other day, right, I thought, right, I'll have a go at this flight controller. I plugged it in, yeah, and when I plugged it in, it moved. It actually moved on the screen, and this is obviously all in bits, right? So it's just a flight controller on its own, yeah, and it's moving about. The difference was, right, I plugged it in with a brand new over the air, right, and this, yeah, I still used this, but I didn't use the lead, right? So I was like, wow, okay, that's, so all the time this has been either a bad USB cable, okay, or a bad USB port on the flight controller. So what I did then is Betaflight, right? Betaflight configurator, you probably don't know, but Betaflight configurator, you can actually download for Android, yeah, all the latest editions on your phone, but you can't flash anything on it, yeah? It's not like this, it doesn't go into Bluetooth mode and then into Wi-Fi and flash, right? So anyway, so then the next thing I did was I plugged my OTG cable, yeah, straight into the app, the Betaflight configurator app, and it worked fine. So have I resurrected it? Let's go fly.
Still over here. Turned on, not doing anything.
Joshua, I've told you, if you're turned on, there's pills. There's pills you can take. Trust me, I know.
I don't want no more problems. I need the light, no more darkness. And I was lower than low, but there was a double bottom. I don't want no more problems.